Carter Shed is on the clock. Good evening and welcome to episode 7 of Carter Shed. In this episode I'm going to knock up a quick and let's say rustic trophy for a dynasty fantasy football league. I will warn you in advance that this is a slap together project. There's not much finesse and you won't find any fine woodworking techniques in this video. With that PSA out of the way, let's crack on. So you've seen me cut down some bits to size. I want to make kind of a slope podium, so I picked some angles that I thought looked okay and went with that. I'm using dowels to locate the pieces together and give a bit of extra material for the glue to adhere to, since it's end grain to end grain. I got the holes drilled, and now I'm going to use these handy dowel finders to mark the correct location for the corresponding holes. The dowel finders come in a few different sizes. I had some 6mm dowels on hand, so it was a 6mm drill. Then I dropped the corresponding finders into the holes and pushed the pieces together. I'm now just going to highlight the marked points with a pencil to make them stand out a little better. Then I can get the holes drilled and dry fit the pieces I have so far together. You will have seen that this pine board I'm using is really quite badly cupped. I'm not going to address this issue, I'm just going to work with what I have and hopefully it comes out looking okay. That's the first side done. Rinse and repeat on the second side and we'll have the basic outline of the podium. Now I'm just going to trace out the outline of the sides onto the pine board to get two sides. Chop them down with the track saw and finish off the curved sides on the bandsaw. The next job is to glue up all the bits that we've made so far. Now we can look at getting a base onto it. Offer up the podium onto a thin bit of 6mm ply, mark it out, and we'll cut that shape out on the bandsaw. I recently got a box of lovely hardwood offcuts from Paul over at Cunningham's Custom Creations. I'm going to use some of the offcuts from that box to clad this ugly duckling and hopefully turn it into something a bit prettier. You should definitely go and check out some of the amazing stuff Paul makes. I'll put a link to his Instagram below. I am now marking up the pieces to the size I need them. I will then get them cut to rough size on the bandsaw. These offcuts had one smooth side and were all different thicknesses. So in hindsight I probably should have got the hand plane out and worked them down to a more even size. But as I said before, this is just a quick and dirty project. Now it's time for more glue. I'm going to glue each side individually so that I can get good clamping pressure on each side. Smashing super great. Now that all four sides and the base are done, I I can get the top piece glued into place. I can then use the old sawdust and glue mixture trick to fill in any gaps. I can now sand all the edges flush, then sand the whole thing, going through the grits to 400. The next job is to look at how to mount the Velociraptor to the trophy base. I'm going to use some small panel pins to make locating pins. I'll start by getting a couple of holes drilled into the feet and then checking the fit of the pins. Now I'm going to get rid of the head of the nails so that just the shank and the tip remain. My little helper wanted to lend a hand, so she can get some Danish oil onto the trophy, then I can get those pins secured into the Velociraptor's feet. I can get some glue into the holes, then coat the lower half of the pins before popping them into place. You'll see that I've already put some fabric on the base. This is just an old t-shirt, but it's quite thin, so while the glue dries on those pins, I'm going to get a second layer of fabric onto the base just to give it a bit of extra padding. I use some spray adhesive on the old t-shirt and the piece that's already on the base. I can then smooth it flat. A knife and some scissors are used to get it all trimmed down to the right size. This certainly isn't going to win any beauty contest, but it's not going to scratch the winner's furniture. I can now get Mr. Dino into position and see what kind of angle I need to drill into the top for the securing pins. Once I'm happy, I'll get them drilled. Start the drill vertical and then I can bring it down to the angle that I need. Now let's hope he fits. Now before I get Mr. Velociraptor secured in place, I thought it would be best to get the plaque mounted. This is just so that he was not getting in the way. I can get the plaque centre-ish, then pilot some holes before securing in place with a couple of screws. Now I use the same process as before. Some glue in the holes, some in the pins, and then a little on his feet. For all you NFL fans out there, I hope the draft goes well for your teams. Thanks for watching and good evening. Goodbye, my cable. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. I am a maker, and when I make, you can't break my spirit level. It's my tools you take, and as you move on, remember me. Remember my cables as they used to be.